As a final reminder of what this car looks like, I've already got part of it masked. I've of course taken my favorite reading papers. This one is my favorite reading paper, and I think you can already figure out what I'm starting to do. So I can only do a couple panels of the car at a time. I'm also going to hit the badges, and then I got to rotate it, keep it out of the sun so it doesn't get overheated. Don't worry, I'm also going to cover part of the driveway, probably. Here we go. I guess we'll find out how this goes in a minute.
All black car, 3% tint. I could clearly see out, but you could barely see in the end. And on the end, we blowing Indonesia. And I'ma let it hit till I get amnesia. I'm crazy, the haze got me hazy. I'm lazy. Tell Ben that it's something about Mary and clearly. What? I'm so out of her, you could say a nigga spacing. Pocket full of paper, so I'm finna get some papers. Yeah. About to inhale like I'm finna see Satan. What? About to exhale like I'm finna see my savior. So get the leaves in the trees like it's autumn. Had them windows all rolled up and rolled up. We told them, man. Roll the windows up when you get in the...
Now that I finished my Michael Bay action movie shots, here's an actual tip if you've never used plastidip before, is put it in a warm bucket of water and try to get the cans up to temp. Especially if they're cold to the touch, it's just not going to spray as evenly. It's going to come out thick and globbed and an absolute mess. If you want a nice even spray, which, you know, everyone does, that's the way to do it, is get your cans warm before you start. I've killed the first can of plastidip, and I definitely think that this car is already looking a lot better than it did. It's not fully black yet, it's just kind of grayed, and yeah, it's definitely a spray can job, but you know, fuck it, Battle Wagon. Here we go with the blacking of the badges on the back as well. I kind of am just a advocate for not ever having chrome. I hate it. I don't know why, I just do. It's illogical. Look at that. Oh yeah. Boom. Never forget. So I'm not going to start peeling this off and getting all the lettering squared up until after I get the bumper as well, because it doesn't make sense to pull everything until all of it's done. In the meantime, I'm going to break out some more cans and continue doing it. We've officially killed the second can of plastidip. This side is just about done. I might need one more light coat to try to just make it more even, but all the silver's filled in. We've already hit the low spots. So we started the first coats on the front bumper, and it was a new can for it, so it went on a lot more evenly. If you're trying to do the first coats using an old can, don't. Save yourself the effort, it's not worth it. You can already see this can came with a much easier application, gave us a much more even coat. So just spend a couple bucks and buy a new one, scrap whatever leftover one you have from your last project. This is our final coat. All nice and dry now. Now we're gonna make the heroic attempt to pull off the masking without just stripping off everything we just painted. So yeah, fuck it. Oh, this is gonna make me nervous. Boom, so far so good. Oh, fuck. All right, I'm getting a razor. So the tape right here wasn't completely tucked into the body panel well enough. So as you pull it off, you can kind of see right there, it's starting to lift the other part. So just trace it with a razor lightly. Just trying to etch it there so that part breaks first. What other people say is they just mask it an inch or so higher, and then that way it breaks on its own at the body line. That makes me nervous as well, so I just chose to do that right there and then not have to worry about overspray. I've done this before where you just pull off the tape while it's still wet. Because of the number of coats that I'm doing, that wasn't really an option in this case, so this is why I'm stuck resorting to this method. For the center, it's pretty easy to get a nice even body line. It's just really towards these edges, especially the front corners that are a little harder to get around the door. It's a little more problematic there. Damn you, Scuba Steve! You see it starting to lift on the body panel, don't even risk it. Just a little trace with the razor. Don't press too hard, you'll cut into your paint. Not that it matters on a vehicle like this, but assuming you have a project car or an actual car that's less shitty, you might want to be more delicate. Like that, super delicate. As you can see, I mostly also sprayed the underside here, which doesn't look that bad, honestly, because considering that I did this whole thing with the door closed. So Oh, so much yellow swag. Oh, nice. There you have it. First part of the car is done, and now I'm gonna continue on the front bumper and then move around to the other side in the rear bumper. Front bumper itself is actually looking just about done. I'd say I'm happy with it. It came out pretty well. It's got that nice color I'm looking for. I started on the side, this side in the rear bumper, and it's a little tough to see on camera, but there's definitely some light spots in certain areas. And I've been definitely spraying it on way thick on the rear bumper, but still think it needs another coat or two. You can kind of see a little silver coming through on a few of these areas. When it starts to look like that, I usually do another 2 coats or so. Yeah, you can see a little bit on this ridge too. A little bit of silver poking through, but not a lot. What I figured out so far from doing this, you can do a shitload of really light coats, or you can go a lot, and I mean a lot slower, and then try to get nice, even, thick coats, but it's much more difficult to do. That being said, if you're comfortable with the thick coats and you can do it right to get that evenness, it goes a lot faster. That's what I did on the rear bumper just to try it, and I think it worked out pretty well for me. The other thing I learned is that I'm not very hidden from the street, and there's a lot of foot traffic, and everyone just loves to stop and just stare at what you're doing. They won't say anything, but they'll stop, like literally at the end of this driveway, at the end of that post, and they'll just stare at you. It's the most awkward thing ever. So if you're ever doing this, just prepare for that. Even beyond that, it's not just people walking by who feel the need to stare at you. It's a very large portion of the traffic. I'd say like 30% actually physically turn their heads. And granted, I mean, I can see why, but come on guys, is it really that novel of an idea to cover a car and just hide the ugly? No, come on. There's your first glimpse of the Battle Wagon in its final form. Well, final form, I should say. And before people say, oh, you were already painting it, why didn't you just cover up this rust? Well, gonna let this whole thing just rot out over the next couple years, and then I'm just going to replace it at that point. Then it would look really weird if all of a sudden the paint line just kind of dipped up unexpectedly there and it was only on one side. Definitely looks textured, probably a bit of overspray there. From a few feet it looks light, but it's definitely not when you get up close and you touch it. You can see the things like the cracks, the scratches, the little dings and paint chips. You still see the same texture through, so if you're worried about those showing through, make sure you sand those out or Bondo them or do whatever before you spray it. Or if you just don't give a shit like me, go over it and say who fucking cares. Damn you, Scuba Steve! I think the side and the rear bumper are both officially complete. So I'm going to do the final unmasking of the Battle Wagon, and we'll see whether or not the results are up to our incredibly high Battle Wagon standard. In case anyone was wondering, this car is in fact very odd. Inside the O and between some of these more minute lettering spaces, you can really get in there with a razor or tweezers or an X-Acto or whatever you want if you're actually worried about it. But let me show you something. Ready? Boom. Now you can't fucking tell. Basically, I'm not getting a clean edge here because it's not on thick enough to make it to the edge. So like I said earlier, and I just kind of proved it if you didn't believe me for any reason, but you gotta spray it on nice and thick around the tape line, and especially up to the edge that you want to peel to. And there you have it. The Battle Wagon is mostly back to only 2 colors again, even though it is still covered with sizable dents. Let's give it a quick walk around. There we go. Boom. Sham wow. That's actually looking almost decent. I'm not gonna say it's gonna look great, right? I mean, like, look at this shit, right? And that's the better side of the two. But it's actually reasonably well coated and actually came out decently well. Yeah, this is the worst side because the fender got crushed in behind it. Look at that, though. I gotta say, for one Saturday, and I think I used a total of about 5 to 6 coats of plastidip to do the whole bottom half of the car. And yeah, I mean, it's not perfect, right? This clearly got the marks on it, and I gotta redo that. But that even got the badges, and the badges came out pretty well. Those are now de-chromed, which is good because I hate chrome for some reason. It definitely covers a decent amount. I think 5 cans of this is about $30, give or take, if you go to your local Home Depot or something. There you go. There's phase 1 of Project Paint the Battle Wagon. So yes, there will be more. And then we started the fucking Harleys. Fuck you. Get a real bike, like a Honda or a Kawasaki. Start to lift the lower layer. It's totally something in the lens. There we go. It's actually very difficult to do with one hand. I didn't think it would be. I don't want to record. Give me a sweet look at my nose.